Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back to the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're doing a little bit of a different unbox today. What is this? Oh, it is a figure stand that you can use for different types of figures, including Gundams. Now this past week I actually did a live stream where I actually built this guy. It took me a couple hours. But to give him more of that action pose, I picked up one of these stands. I actually saw them on Amazon. I'm going to throw a link in the description below. Very simple to put together and very awesome and sturdy. I mean, we have this nice platform. You can swivel it. You have this little, I guess you would just call them teeth, where you can actually alter this. So if you wanted to have more of a higher presence, you can. And I also played around with a very cool app, which is only available on, at least right now, it's only available on the Apple App Store. And I'm going to throw a few scenes into the video right now so you can see some of the pictures I threw together. I didn't spend a whole lot of time. I just spent a couple minutes playing around with this app that does video editing called iCandy Editor. Okay? Again, it's called iCandy Editor. And I'm going to have a link to that also in the description below as well. Okay? So, as I just showed you guys, a couple pictures I play around with to do some very cool action poses. And this figure itself was very awesome when I put it together. Now, I love the stand because you can have more of a falling position. You can have it like he's jumping up. Now, this particular Gundam didn't have a whole lot of flight power. He had some little rocket boosters in the back and some leg rockets. But it's a very cool stand, nice and sturdy. I mean, you can pop it out. You can actually peg this into any spot on here, and it's going to be very steady. Now, this very cool. It's an octagonal setup, so you can actually pair this up with other stands. And yeah, I'm actually going to show you guys in just a minute. Bat knife. I'm actually going to show you guys how quick and easy it is to assemble this. Now, by the way, the instructions are not in English. But do we need instructions? No, not in a dimension. In Dave's Dimension, anything and everything is always possible. And they give you a nice little screw set right here. Screwing some nuts. Giggity. So we're just going to bust this right open. And let's shed a little light on this situation. What do you guys say? So these are the two hinges. They're simply going to interlock because you have one side that's a bigger hole right there. And then you have this little protrusion shaft right there, which is going to go ahead and connect perfectly into here. It actually holds in there pretty well by itself, but we're going to put the screw and the nut in there so we can adjust it and tighten it so it keeps a nice firm presence. Now, you got this little ladder component right here, guys. Okay, this is what will go between these two arms and holds it in place on whatever level of teeth you wanted, depending on how far you wanted to go up. We have this very cool platform. Now, as you can see, we have a nice little gridded metallic look, like you might see on Space Base or something like that. I'm actually thinking of taking this and painting it. Maybe doing a silver and doing some, maybe some faint, flat black dry brushing or some earth tones to make it look like it's been blasted, that this is actually part of a battlefield. That's just a thought. I'm not going to do that during this video, guys. I'm just going to show you guys how we can quickly assemble this. Now, if you're into Gundams, You already have the rights. I mean, you can use some basic snips to get most of these parts out. Okay. What do I mean by that? I'm going to show you guys. This is your basic Gundam kit. I actually got this on Amazon, and I'm going to have that in the link in the video description below as well. We use these snips basically to get the various pieces out, and we're going to do that here as well. 1 and 2. There we go. Again, we're going to repeat the procedure for every single one of these pieces. There we go. 1 and 2 again. So there we go. I mean, if you really want to get real special about it, you can take a little file that comes in that kit, smooth down the edges. Now, one thought I had was I can actually paint this whole kit. That's one little idea I can play around with. Now, one thing about this kit is this, guys. It comes with different parts. Now, this is the part I use for the Gundam to actually affix onto the stand itself. But you have different options here for different types of figures. Very cool indeed. One and 2. There we go. There we go. Now, while I'm doing this, guys, do me a quick favor. In the video description below, I'm already going to have a bunch of links to some of the items here I have gotten from Amazon. However, I also have my YouTube warriors. Those are various other YouTubers and links to their channels. I want you guys to go ahead and check them out. These are YouTubers who have amazing channels, amazing content that you definitely don't want to miss out on, guys. Trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. Because these are guys who I check out every single day to see what the latest and greatest is on their channel, so you don't want to miss out. Okay, we are almost done with freeing these parts from their plastic cage. There we go. So now that we have that done, we can set the snips back. Now you always want to be careful with these. These are very sharp and you can easily cut yourself when you're done with these. When you're not using them, put them away in your little toolbox, guys. Now this comes with files, tweezers, an additional hobby knife or a straight blade, if you will, and extra blades, files, little microfiber cloth in there for cleaning and shining things up. It's very awesome. Even has a little file for getting things down. Got this on Amazon, pretty inexpensive, and like I said, I'll have the link for this in the description below as well. So let's get to work. Well, we still have to open this up. And no, that is not the safe way, but that's the Dave way. Who needs the safe way when you have the Dave way? Now, if you guys are doing this yourselves, I highly recommend using some scissors. And also something magnetic. I recommend using a little dish. Harbor Freight sells these little aluminum dishes with a magnet on the bottom, so everything will fix to it. Especially if you drop these. You drop these on your carpet, you might be searching for days, guys. Okay. So let's start with some of the basics here. As I said, this kind of pegs right in. One end actually has a groove that you can see fits the nut perfectly in there. So we're just going to drop that right in there, like so. And then using my finger, I'm going to press my finger up against it so this so the nut cannot come out. Then I'm going to take the other end. Oh, almost lost that. I'm going to take the other end. I'm going to place the screw into it. Just kind of drop it in, tap it in there. And I have a very small screwdriver. Now, it does not come with a screwdriver, guys. You're going to have to supply that your own. I highly recommend you stop at Harbor Freight or your local hardware store. Get yourself a nice little small set of Phillips screwdrivers. And all that I'm doing is again, my finger is to the bottom. It's holding the screw or the nut in so it doesn't slide out. And I'm just taking the screwdriver until I feel it tight. Not too tight because you don't want to strip it. And there we go. We have it in there. It's not popping out. The next step. Now, of course, we're going to have to repeat that same process again, guys. Again, we're going to take one nut, place it in the bottom where it should fit. Again, pressing our finger down to hold it in place so it doesn't pop out, so we don't lose it. And really, you shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, where I use my mouth to kind of turn the screw around. It's just a force of habit. Learned a lot of bad habits when I was a kid. These screws are pretty small and very fine, so it can be a little tough trying to get them in perfectly. I mean, if you're going to get a screwdriver, I highly recommend getting magnetic tip ones if you can. It saves you, and it comes in so handy, guys, it's not even funny. So there we go. Now we got that one in. Now, obviously, we can loosen it to readjust it at any point in time. That's not a problem, guys. So now, we're going to get the final part in. And again, we're going to repeat that same process, guys. Okay, again, we're going to drop the nut into the geometrical slot that fits perfectly on there. Again, using our finger to hold it down, covering it so it cannot pop out. Making it very simple and basic for you guys to go ahead and drop your screw in, like so, and hit that screwdriver. And it's in there. Okay, there you go. Pretty quick, pretty simple. Now, on here, I already have a little kind of shoehorny style piece in here. Now, there's a small peg in there. Okay, small peg hole. That's where this end is going to drop into, guys. So I'm just going to simply pop it in there. There we go. And you can adjust the screws, just slightly loosen it so you can maneuver this. I'm going to show you guys in just a second. And of course, this will pop back out in case you want to readjust it. Like so. Pop that back into place. We're going to loosen this one now. Okay. And tighten it back up. This ladder piece, like I said, it can be used to kind of hold this in place, like so, so that if your figure's kind of heavy, it's not going to cause it to go down. This is meant as a support. You don't have to use it, but I do recommend it. Now, depending on the type of Gundam figure or whatever figures you're using that have a peg hole underneath, there are different slots, different components we can use for this process. We could put that right there if we wanted to. We don't have to. There is this stand that is supposed to go into the leg joints and hold it on there. There's several different ways, several different accessories that actually come with it that you guys can actually use. These are all those pieces. What I recommend doing is small little Ziploc bag so you can stow them aside. And what I do with a lot of my figures, a lot of my action figures and collectibles, I buy a bunch of like little dollar store Ziploc bags. I have some painter's tape. I take a little Sharpie, I write what the figure is, and I put it in a little box that I have for all my accessories. That way you're not losing them. But there you go, pretty quick, pretty simple. And I can't wait to show you guys what I'm going to do as far as painting this, to modify it just a little bit more, guys. I mean, literally, there is a whole host of things that we can actually do with these items. And like I said, they're very cool, very quick and easy to assemble. As you can see, he's actually being held right there. Right, well, kind of underneath the crotch right there, guys. But it's very cool. It allows you to do a lot of posability with the Gundam. I'm going to reposition him how I had him before. There we go. And like I said, the hinge holds it pretty well because these figures aren't too heavy, but if you're using a heavier figure, you know, you definitely want that for some added support, and these are nice and strong. I actually like these way better than the stands that I've been using for my, that I've been using for the Hasbro Marvel Legends and also the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series. I'm referring to some of these. Some of these, I got some janky ones. I've used some pretty cool ones before. It all depends on the weight of your figure as well. So, there you go. Just a very quick video showing you guys what I'm using. Well, show you that obviously I got into Gundams. I used to be into Gundams way back when. And this is me kind of getting back into them now. And I wanted a stand so I could do some very cool action poses. So, and also, by the way, along with the other links, you guys heard me mention the YouTube warriors, who I always like to mention. Well, also among those YouTube warriors is a guy by the name of Kouldbaynegames. He does some very awesome content. He actually does regular Gundam builds and Gunpla on his channel all the time. He does a whole bunch of gaming as well. I'm actually going to have a link to him, Destination Stone, Sleeping Collectibles, G-Force Gaming, and also Apprentice Ewok. These guys have recently been getting together on various nights during the week when they're free and doing a group build. Where it's not just one guy building, it's all of them building. Very awesome group of guys. And if you're into Gundams, if you're into model building, and just having a very cool hangout and having an awesome time, these guys are what you are looking for. I'm going to have links to all their channels in the YouTube Warriors section below. So there we are. There you are. Here I am. And I want to thank you guys for checking out the channel. Thank you guys for checking out the Dimension. I want to thank everyone who's become, part of our friends and family here in Dave's Dimension. Those that have hit that red button and they hit the bell for notifications, I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your input, your comments. And we got a ton of awesome things coming our way. And I just want to thank you guys for always being a part. Now, as always, if you have any comments, you have any questions, always feel free to hit me up in the comment section below, or better yet, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Dave's Dimension, or email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com. So until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting, and I will catch you on the flip side.